All right. Says that we're live. Says that we have 45 people here and 11 thumbs up before I even started the video. So thank you for that. Bill Gerlach, I see you're here. Don't worry, Bill. You hit the wrong button. It happens. Oh, Elkinator. Oh, sorry to hear that, man. Your boat's having some issues. Sorry to hear that. Captain Crow, how are you? Good to see you. It is 7 o'clock on Sunday. There's 30 people here. Thanks to everybody for being here. Yeah, 15 thumbs up. Now hardly said a thing, so thanks for that too. All right, who we got chiming in here? Greg Schmidt and Jeff Abbott. Matt Presnitz, thanks to you for all those wonderful kits that you sent to me. I got those all sent out. Blind Osprey is here. TD Schlout's here. Fishhawk is here. Jeff Abram. Jerry Hardesty, T. Whipple, Mr. Dombrowski, Mark Pearson, Steve Steele, Johnny Quest saying Lima Charlie loud and clear. Thanks for that. Todd, good to see you. Patrick Forrester, good to see you. A lot of names that I see on here every week. That's always great to see. A lot of new names that I see every week, which is also really great to see. Before I forget, please don't you forget that these Sunday night live streams are brought to you proudly by Dreamweaver Lures. Check them out, dreamweaverlures.com. Link is down below. In fact, about everything that we talk about on here, there is a link down below so you can check those out. The poll is still going that I posted here. Easy question. Did you fish over the weekend? I've got 56 votes. I have 59% saying yes and 41% saying no. But that's skewed because Mr. Gerlach hit the wrong button. That's okay. All right. Oh, man. Jim Zaccoli, there's a new name. Don't know that one. Brian Waters. M. Liege is here. T. Farrell. Thumbs up from that person. Thank you for that. Captain Crow, been on the water Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Mr. Crow, same here. Been on there. I've been on since, what day did I start? Last 4 days. So, yeah, I hear you. Jeff Abbott, tough week on the Wisconsin side. Sorry to hear that. We'll talk about the Michigan side here shortly. Mark Pearson wanted to go, but work said no. And that's the way it is. I see those memes all the time. You know, like it shows like this beautiful, sunny, flat, calm lake day on the day that you can work, and then the day that you're off, the lake, you know, it's just erupting in 10-foot waves, and that's the way it is too sometimes. Bill Gerlach is saying he's looking for a new fishing partner in the Duluth area. Hey, if you're around, if you want to go fishing with Bill, send a message on here. I think he'd love to have you. Terry Lacey, good to see you. Hugh Merrill, good to see you, Huey. How you been? All right. Lots of people on there. Patrick saying Kings are slowly showing up in Frankfurt. I heard that. I heard there was a 30-pounder weighed at the Triport tournament here in Manistee over the weekend. By the way, I don't know who won. I don't know who won the Pro-Am or 333, but whoever did win, congratulations to you. That was a $10,000 first place prize for the Pro winner, $5K for the Am, and a couple grand for the 333 winner. Not bad. So whoever did win, well done. 30-pounder, though, I did hear that come across the scales, and that was confirmed, so that's pretty cool. That's a big, big fish for this time of the year. Deer Hunter, see me next month. Yes, bring some worms, please, in case we get hungry. Yes, please. All right. James Bailey, doing well. I see a lot of people doing well. Leroy Dowding for Purple Taco Fly Supply is on here. If you got any questions for Leroy, please throw them on here. He'll be happy to help you out. Yeah, Leroy, we put some nice boxes together over the last few days. Had some real nice outings. In fact, I'll throw some nice thank yous to a few people that fished with us over the weekend. Frank and his group were out with us. Kyle Simons was out with us. Jim Aldrich was out with us, and Mike Kraft was out with us. I know a few of those people watched the channel, so that was great to have some channel supporters out there. Had a lot of fun with those guys too. All right, Am winner was Kingfish. Think Silver Addiction won the Pro. I know Silver Addiction was winning yesterday, TD, but I don't know if they pulled it off today. All right, Joe Wildbon. Oh no, you got the virus. Sorry to hear that, Joe. Hope you feel better soon. Stay home. Don't go out. Just stay home. All right. Chrome Catfish Chargers wants to know, are DW ballyhoo strips, are they pre-brined or just salted? Good question. I don't know the answer to that. I think they're just salted. But if you want to find out the answer, give Dreamweaver a call. Like I said, the link's down below. They're good people. They'll answer any question you want for you. Pierre-Luc Dubois. Pierre-Luc Dubois. God, if I said that right, that's cool. Tips on my sequence of deployment when I set up. He thinks he's taking too long to set up. Mine's pretty easy, actually. I'm doing port side. First mate's doing starboard side. I go shoot rigger, high diver, out and down, low diver, then long lines. And then the opposite side, my first mate is going out and down, long lines. So while he's doing long lines, I'm doing my divers. That way we're not letting long lines out at the same time. We're not getting tangles. So he's going out and down, long lines, and then his divers last. So that's the way we do it on our boat. You know what would be a good idea? I think I'll do this. I think I'll take the GoPro, just slap it on the chest, and I will go out on one of my afternoon trips so you can see, and you can just watch how I do it. If that's something you guys and gals would like, hey, leave a comment right now on here. Hey, Sister Sarah's on here. Jenna and Lucy say hi. I say hi back. How are you guys? Good to see you. Yeah, cool. Yeah, if that's something though you want, if you want to see how I deploy my rigs, I'd make a pretty cool video, I think. So yeah, I'll throw the GoPro on. If that's something you want, leave a comment, and I'll go off that. Also, thank you. Oh, Joe, that's the name of your boat. That's, I don't know if I really go with that name. Hey, that's your boat. You name it whatever you want, man. But yeah, if that's something you want, I can do that. But also, I want to say thanks to everybody who watched the video that I put out last week. It had some really good fishing on there, some of the drone footage that we have recently. And yeah, thanks to everybody who watched that. It had some really nice ratings, or not ratings, but views on there. So I'm going to have another one of those out here shortly from this past weekend. And I think I'm going to try to roll that just through the whole summer. Some mornings I'll show you what I'm setting up. But over the weekends, I'm going to take some of that footage, put it together, meld it all together, and you'll see some things from a few trips over the weekend, show you how things worked out. And like I said, in my last video, I said this. Hold on. I don't know why I have this in my hand and I'm not drinking. Hold on. Oh, good old Diet Coke. I don't want to edit out the bad stuff in any of my videos. Everybody has chaos. Everybody has blunders, botched net jobs. I'm not saying that happens all the time with us. We actually normally run pretty good. But everybody has those things. And I'm not a fan of those shows out there that edit out all the bad. And when you watch, whether it be on YouTube or a hunting or fishing channel, that it's just always, walk in the park for these people. Everything goes completely to plan. They always find their deer. They always catch the biggest fish. They always shoot the biggest deer. I'm not a fan of that at all. I think it's garbage. So when I do my videos, you're going to see, like in the last video that we put out, we had a king that just went crazy at the back of the boat. He went through the divers, he went through the downrigger, and we had a heck of a time getting him into the net. But we got him. But that's kind of things that are real. It happens on our boat. I'm sure it happens on your boat. I don't want to edit any of that out. I want it to be real. So, yeah. So anyway, if you haven't watched that, please do. And look for some more of those rolling out in the next few days. All right, so yeah. Thanks, Jeff Abbott. You liked the video. I appreciate that. GoPro idea would be awesome. You got it. Love on the water videos from Johnny Quest. Yeah, TD Shot, I completely agree. What really burned me I used to watch a lot of hunting shows, especially bow hunting shows. I'm a bow hunting fanatic. But when they started doing the editing where it shows the guy tracking his deer, like the cameraman is basically leaning on the deer, and the guy is pretending to track the blood trail through the field. Just look for the cameraman. He's laying on the deer. That burned me right there. It's just such made for TV crap. Sorry, I'm kind of going off on a rant here, but it did it in for me. I can't watch them anymore. It's just garbage. So anyway, Patrick, you're welcome. Fishhawk mentioned a possible downrigger show in a few weeks ago. Yeah, I talked with Big John. I put this out a while ago, the information, Big John does not want to do a video just yet. They're not ready to release anything new. That's all the information that I have. So we'll wait on that. Whenever they're ready, I'm ready. All right. Let's small boat next weekend from Chad Douglas. Any suggestions? Chad, I don't know where you're fishing. I don't know what's going on in your area. I'd hate to give you any suggestions and steer you wrong, my man. So probably better that I don't. All right. Let's end the poll. Okay, so the poll, 115 votes. 50% said they did fish. I mean, it's 50-50. 50 did and 50 didn't, or 50% did, 50% did not. That was interesting. So we'll end that poll. Yeah, Ken Brescia, yes, a couple people have mentioned if I do like a Bill Dance blooper video, we'd probably have a lot of that footage. So that'd be pretty interesting too. Sam Callis, yes, we've been seeing a lot of alewife die off, and from everything that I've understood from people a lot smarter than I am, that is a natural thing and actually an indicator of a very healthy bait fish population. So good, that means things are going well. Open water Mike, what's my thought on a Ninja planer board? Mike, if you haven't heard already, I am a huge fan of the Ninja boards. Huge fan. That's all I run now. I had to run something. I thought I had a fault on one of my Ninja boards over the weekend. I ran a church board and it felt weird. And it turned out it was just a goofy current. So I adjusted some speed and it came back to life. But I'm a huge, huge fan of Ninja boards. If you haven't picked them up, if you haven't switched, I highly recommend it. Of course, it's just me. It's just my opinion. Do your own research. Try them out. Take a look at them. But I really, really like them. Good question, though. All right, what do I want to do here? Okay. We have a very nice donation from somebody that watches the channel. This person emailed me today. They left something at the shop for me. I apologize. I keep looking to my left, your right, whatever way it is. I am looking at the comments as they come in. But got an email from a guy named Matt Cott. Goes by the screen name on here of MJK3BS. He stopped into the shop over the weekend and dropped off a donation for somebody for a giveaway. So what he dropped off was a brand new Okuma 45D convector and a brand new Okuma CLR 8'6" rod to go along with it. And he said whoever wins that, it's up to them, whatever they want on it, whether it be wire, whether it be a 5-color, 10-color. Can't go much more than a 10-color on there. 7-color, something like that, or maybe a downrigger rod. Whatever the winner wants, that'll happen. So, very nice donation from Matt Cott. So what we will do is this. Instead of doing the number thing like we've done in the past, excuse me. Instead of doing the number thing like we've done in the past, at the end of this video, once it posts to YouTube, don't do it now. You will crash YouTube and they will hate me forever. And so just don't do it now. When it posts to YouTube, after this video is done, leave a comment on there. And let's do something like, just leave a comment where you fish, maybe what your favorite fish is, something fishing related. And what I'll do is a random comment generator. Before next week's video, it will pick a winner, and that'll be the easiest way to do it. Let's try doing that. So anyway, very nice of you, Mr. Cott, to do that. It's a very nice giveaway. Somebody's going to walk away with a very nice setup. Again, just post a comment once this video is done, and I will do a random comment selector for next week, and somebody will win a nice combo. Cameron Chisholm, Ninja Mags or Standard? I run all big boards, all the mags. And I run anything from like a 2-color on them out to a 450 copper. So yeah, that's what I run. But the small boards are great also. The small boards have the telltale flag on them. They work very, very well. I just have all mags on my boat and they pull everything great. Go big or go home, I guess. Yeah, bigger's better, whatever. Patrick Forrester, what's hitting better lately, flasher, fly, or spoons? It depends on which boat you talk to, and we'll talk about that here in just a moment. Patrick, I got the fishing report all set up. Mark Pearson, yes, you can put a 10-color on a CV45. I would strongly recommend going to the 55, though. You get a lot more bagger. All right. M. Herman, you're welcome for the videos. I think Chris Engert just said, if you were to pick would you just use the mags? Yeah, Chris, that's all I use. I just use the mag boards. Unless if you're a walleye guy, you could easily use the small boards for your walleye setups easily. But for salmon fishing, I like the big boards. All right, Steve Ordaway going to be up in Manistee this weekend. Yeah, I had a person stop down to the boat today. I believe his name was Jeff, and if I'm wrong on that, whoever you were, I apologize. Excuse me. I'm running on like 3 hours of sleep per night for the last 4 nights, so excuse me. I know I look burned out. But I believe his name was Jeff. Came down to the boat, just wanted to say hi. What a super nice guy. His family was in the car. They were going out fishing. Shook his hand. Always nice to meet somebody. So, yeah, if you're in the area and you come through the marina and you see me there, if you want to stop, say hi. I never mind. That's fine. If I'm really, really busy, I will stop and still say hi to you. I always like to meet people. Excuse me. Yeah, Teresa Flanders. Hey, that's a nice thing to shout out. The owner of Big Weenie did pass away. He also started the company, I believe, with another person. I don't know much on the backstory, but I did hear, I know his name's Gary. I did hear he passed. Very sorry for that. Thanks for mentioning that on there, Teresa. Very nice of you. All right. Anyway, like I said, let's get into the fishing report. We will go over what worked for us over the last few days. I got notes because I can't remember everything. And like I said, I'm running out about 3 hours of sleep per night, and my brain is starting to see colors. Hey, Chris Engert, that was nice. Yeah, I was going to throw that out also. If you haven't watched it yet on the Fishhawk Electronics, the Great Lakes podcast, I believe they call it. I was the guest on there last week. Real nice. It was nice to be on there. The first live one they've done in like a year. I enjoyed my time there. The host was a really nice guy and asked some really good questions. We had a nice conversation. Feel free to check that out if you want to. All right. So, fishing report over the last few days. One night we bounced lake trout, and that was all we did. We went up to the Laker grounds. We started in the 19s, trolled all the way up almost to the 28s. So we were all the way up there by the Arcadia golf course. That night, if you want to see what worked that night, I don't mean to be a teaser here or anything like that, but I'm going to put a video out on that. And I think you'll be surprised on what some of our hot lures were for the lake trout. I almost guarantee you've never seen them before. So check that out here in an upcoming video in the next couple of days. I think we boated 15 or 16 fish. Tim, I know you're on here. If my numbers are off, please correct me, but I think it was 15 or 16 fish that night. A couple of them were kings, all the rest were lake trout. Had a real nice busy night. Nice box of fish for those guys to take home. I had another trip in the evening. It was a lot slower. Lake trout, that was on Friday. It was a lot slower. The ladies' tournament had been out, and the lake trout population had just shut right down. I think we ended up getting 6 or 7 fish that night. Mostly lake trout was not that great. But then the last couple of days, like today, we put 14 fish in the boat. All of them kings except for 3. And yesterday, I forget the numbers, but the king bite has definitely come back on. This is a great thing. I'm fishing kings in June in Manistee. That makes me incredibly happy. Normally this time of the year, I'm just lake trout fishing. And if you lake trout fish like I do, where your divers are scraping on the bottom and your center downrigger or one of your downriggers is bouncing on the bottom, your brain starts to melt down after a while. You just see rods bouncing and you want... It is so... It's not frustrating, it's just different. It's just different. I go to sleep seeing diver rods bouncing in my dreams. So I don't mind lake trout fishing. In fact, I feel very blessed that they're around when the king fishing is tough. We do have another species to go for. But you give me the choice, I want to go king fishing. Not because it's easier. I just think it's a lot more relaxing. It's a lot funner. The fish fight better. Don't get me wrong, I love lake trout. They're really good eaters. But I will take, if you give me the choice, I will definitely go king fishing. So, kings are still around here in Manistee, and I think my gut feeling is they're going to stick around this area throughout the season. Most years they disappear around this time. Like I said, we're just lake trout fishing. I think the kings are going to be sticking around. And I talked to one boat today that boated some nice adults. I know from some of the scuttlebutt I heard over the weekend, some of the boats in the tournament around here picked up some very nice adult kings. Like I said, one of them being a 30-pounder, so that's really nice. And a lot of those fish were down south, which still means we got a lot of fish to come up our way. Some of the things that worked for us, really, it was a hodgepodge of many, many things that worked. Downriggers worked, long lines worked, divers worked. You name it, we had a mixed bag on everything, but some of the best baits that we had over the weekend. Green jeans went today. I think green jeans went 4 or 5, maybe 6 times today on a 300 copper. Blue jeans went for my first mate several times on one day. He was running the mag, Blue jeans RV actually. He was running the mag version of that. The green jeans, I was running the standard version. That thing was really going. Hey Kyle, good to see you on here. Good to see. Yeah, we did our best for you, Kyle. I think, what'd you get, 6 fish that night? We tried, though. We went after them hard. A-bomb, still working. Has slowed down, though, but I'm still running that thing on a daily basis because it has been working so darn good. The gold Rasta Goose is still going. Took a couple nice kings over the weekend on that. That thing was running on a 300 copper, I think 227 copper. I'm normally running that thing on my long lines, but I'd run that thing on about anything that you can. The Raspberry Carbon and the Raspberry Carbon UV, my first mate Tim was running that on a high diver. I mean, anywhere from 125 back to 250 back. And he was catching good fish on that. I went with that today on my high diver and picked up a real nice lake trout, little butterball, a big butterball actually. The green frog with a white belly, that's still going. That went on a slider today. A couple long lines over the weekend. Chris Briggs, good to see you. First one you've been able to be here. I appreciate you being here. The Captain Gary UV, the WV Captain Gary. I know Tim was running that on a slider a few times. Got some nice bites on that. Spin Doctors. My best one over the weekend was a double slick, the Pearl double slick. We had some nice bites on that today. One of them being it was a big fish. It snapped off the lead. It just snapped that 50-pound leader right off. And I looked at it, and it just looked like a clean break. It might have caught a wire. It might have had a nick in it, maybe a little cut in it. I check my lines every morning. I could have missed one, but it was a nice break off. It was a nice big fish. Then we had a couple other bites on that double slick as well. Pickled sunshine fly or riverside fly is going to do you really well behind that thing. We did not, surprisingly, run Kevin's girlfriend that much this weekend. It just hasn't gone for us lately, and sometimes you get those lulls. So we did not run that very much. The Beckhold Mercury Falling flashers, the big white, the 11-inch white Mercury Falling, and Tim was running the 8-inch black Mercury Falling on his side. We had good bites on those. He was running, it's a GRC fly, and it's called what is it called? The Shamrock. If you go on grctrollingflies.com, I think a link down below is there for them. That Shamrock fly was well. Interesting thing about GRC's flies, he actually takes the E-chip, like you'd find in the flashers, the E-chips, and he incorporates them into his flies with a tournament style rig. So you got the circle hook, and the treble hook, and we picked up nice fish on those. Excuse me. Also, Blue Bubble took one today behind the double slick, and like I said, the Pickled Sunshine and the Riverside flies, those are still going pretty nicely as well. What did I miss here? Those were the hot baits over the weekend, and I would not be afraid to keep running if I was going back out tomorrow, which I'm not. I'm gonna get a little sleep. I would most likely have that arsenal right back out there going. Fish have been deeper. Well, I'll take that back. Today, majority of the bites, 45 to 65. But over the weekend, we found fish as deep down as 90 past 100, in the 70 to 80 foot range as well. We were fishing 180 out to 200, maybe 210 foot of water. Speeds were, my best speed over the weekend was ranging from 2.3 to 2.5. It was a little quicker. And I talked to another boat today that was actually fishing in 90 feet of water and did really well. Also, I think he had 11 fish. We had 14 fish this morning. And he had a couple nice ones also. But like I said, he was running 90 foot of water. I didn't ask his speed. I don't ask other charter captains a whole lot. I let them do their business. If they ever want anything from me, they're always welcome to ask. But I try not to ask too many things. Yeah, our best speed, like I said, was 2.3 to 2.5. We had some goofy winds, some goofy currents, strong west wind over a couple of days. East-west troll was really good for me one morning. Don't be afraid to go east-west. If you got the winds and the waves to do that, that can be really productive. It can actually zone you in, tune you in right on a nice spot. So you start, every time you cross over 180 feet, you get a couple of bites. So you go, 180 feet must be pretty good. Maybe I'll go north-south now, staying at 180 feet. So you can tune it in really easy that way. Or a lot of times like we did, we just kept going east-west and just had a nice constant bite. This morning was a real nice bite. It was just a nice pick. Every so often we get a bite on something, and the customers had a blast. So Kevin's girlfriend needed a break this weekend. I don't think Kevin's girlfriend got any kind of a break this weekend, Chris. I don't think so at all. All right, trying to think what else was going. But yeah, it was like I told you, or like I said, excuse me. It was anything from 7 color out to a 10 color, and for coppers, it was anything from a 150 copper or steel all the way out to a 400 or a 450. And it was, like I said, it was just a mix of all that. Excuse me. Downriggers, my out and downs were on most occasions in the 50 to 70 foot range. My center downrigger, I was keeping down deeper anywhere from the 80 to 120 foot range. And that's where I was running the Beckhold Mercury Falling with a nice pickled sunshine fly behind it. All right. Trying to think what else I can tell you about it. I have no doubt it's all going to change, like it always does. But for the time being, that's a pretty good program. And like I said, if I was going out tomorrow morning, that's more than likely the program I would be going right back to. Same area. That's why I didn't tell you the location. We had our best bites, best marks in the 17s up to the 18s. So straight out of Manistee, about 2 miles north and about 3 miles out. So that was working pretty good. Brian H., meat rigs. No, meat rigs were slow. I ran a double stack on meat rigs, one on a high, one on a low yesterday, and never had a touch on them. And I was varying speeds all over the place. I was hoping to get a meat bite going. Just never happened. So, no, for us, no meat rigs. All right. Excuse me. We are half hour into this. Man, time flies by fast. We got 205 people here, 65 thumbs up. Don't forget, I've said this before, the thumbs up that you put on here, they do help the channel. They do go into the algorithm. They do help the channel out. If you want to help the channel in the least possible way, just hit the thumbs up button. It really does do things. The new YouTube algorithm is a funny thing. I've actually watched some of my videos just take big curves up and down hills just because of the new algorithm and how it works. So, I mean, it really is based on likes and comments and shares. It subscribes, of course, that still helps. That's still a big one that they watch. But the likes and the comments and the shares are what really drives the algorithm now. So if you want to do anything to help the channel, like I said, is take your little index finger and hit that like button, and it does do wonders. And I do appreciate it. All right. Todd Ozentowski, you got your kit? Yeah, Matt ties some pretty darn good flies, doesn't he? They are nicely done. All right. Jerry Hardesty, good to see you. Like I said, Open Water Mike, Richard Albreeze, you're welcome. If anybody has questions now they want to throw out there, let's do a little Q&A. And then after that, everybody can get out of here, go do better things, go cook a steak on the grill, go have an adult beverage, whatever you want to do. Steve Ordaway, you're very welcome. Chad Douglas, HDS Live, is that adequate? I think you're talking about the fish finder. Yeah, it's very adequate. It's a good system. Anything going out of Frankfurt? Lloyd Duncan, I've heard kings are starting to show up in Frankfurt. And I think if we have a continued south wind, you're going to see more and more showing up. I know there's still a boatload of kings to the south, and I think they're going to be pushing along this way. We got the food here. We got the bait. We got the right temps. You're going to have some nice kings. Best cable steer autopilot, T. Farrell, way out of my pay grade. I could not even begin to give you my opinion on the best cable steer autopilot. I run an AP24 by Simrad on my boat, and I absolutely love it. It's a pump steer though, so I don't think that's going to help you out much. Maybe somebody else on here can help you though. Steve S. As a captain, are you required to report your catch to the DNR? Not every day. It is by month. They now have a monthly reporting system, so yes, I do. And it's a good system. It keeps the DNR informed on what's being caught out there and a lot of other useful information. How does the full moon affect the fishing? It affects the fishing greatly. You can see a lot. Your morning bites are normally off. Not off, but really, really slow. But you'll see that like 9 a.m., 8 a.m., 10 a.m. bite come right back around because those fish are feeding all night. They go take their little nap, and then they start feeding again earlier. So like that 9 a.m., 10 a.m. can be really good, or like a 2 p.m., 3 p.m. can be really, really good too. You got to think the way the fish, if they can feed in the nighttime, they're going to do that, and then you got to give them that 4 to 5 hour rest, another 4 to 5 hour rest, and you can keep that cycle in your head, know when they might be feeding. Length of the flies to the big beck hold, I go from my belt buckle to the floor, so mine is about 36 inches. Good question, though, Mike. Where do all the kings go in the winter? They go on vacation, Scott. I have no idea. No, they just push out deeper, I'm sure. Try to find the warmest water they can, and they go really, really lethargic. I'm no expert on that, but from everything that I've listened to and read about, that's what I believe does happen. How far apart do I run my high lines? Several yards. If you looked across the back of my boat from like my furthest planer board on starboard side over to my furthest planer board on port side, it's probably 100 plus yards in between them. So I run them way, way back. It saves on tangles. Good, Mike. Open water, Mike. I'm glad to hear that. What size snap do I use for leader for weighted steel pole setter? I use a Dreamweaver number 1 or a number 2 for my spoons. That's what I use on mine for my weighted steel. Todd, you thought you had the state record the other day and you had a foul hooked 9-pound steelhead. That happens. I remember once I had a king hooked. I mean, first fish of the morning, downrigger goes off, and we couldn't budge this fish. And I knew something was just goofy. But of course, it's the first fish, and it's like the second rod in. I can't set any more rods out there until we get this fish cleared. And God, we had a hard time clearing that fish. Finally got it up where it came out of the water. I saw the hook was sticking right in the top of its head. And it finally came off. We got away from it, and we got all our other lines set. And we had a crazy, crazy good morning. Walleye are so good on the ear, they're jumping in the boat. Jim Weiss, if that's true, send me some, buddy. I would love it. All right. Steve S. says, a captain, do you gift your bag limits to your clients? Yeah. Steve S. typically, yeah. We'll give our, even if the first mater I have to claim a fish, fight a fish, whatever, yeah, I will normally gift off whatever we catch to the clients. Yeah. Good question, though. Chris Briggs, you hear me talk about the wind and its effect on Kingman. What do the winds do? That's a topic for, that's a really lengthy topic. I've talked about that in several other videos, Chris. The best advice I can give you is go back and watch some of those previous videos because that is a long, in-depth topic on what the wind does with the fish. Chris Singer, you're running an 18-foot Lund, 2 riggers, 2 divers, 2 boards. Would I recommend steel or copper? Either one's going to do you fine. And no, it's not too much for a smaller boat. That's a great spread. 6 to 9 rods on a small boat. Yeah, you can do that no problem. 6 to 8 rods, you'll be absolutely fine on that. And I would definitely recommend, it's your choice if you want to go copper or steel. Copper catches the heck out of fish. Steel does pretty much as well. Steel is a lot easier, more friendly to use. Joe Stepro, ever fish late at night? Yeah, actually me and some buddies one time pulled an all-nighter, and it was not what we expected it to be. It turned into kind of a snooze fest, to be honest with you. But yeah, we tried it. Some other boats I know have as well and have had decent success. Well, we did not have very good success. All right. 225 people here. Thanks, everybody, so much for being here. That's a really great number. What kind of wire do I use on my low diver? I use Mason wire on all my divers. Lloyd Mason. I've used a lot of other things. I'm not going to mention names. Some of them I was very, very disappointed in, and their durability. And there were some big names. I went to Mason, a little lesser known name on wire, and I've had no problems with it. I like it. Do I think an 18-foot bass tracker is too small for Lake Michigan? Phil Fitch? No. On certain days, you can easily get out there with a bass tracker, an 18-foot bass tracker. Absolutely. Pick your days wisely, though, because I've seen 18-foot boats out there on days they should not be out. I'll be honest, I've been out there on days in an 18-foot boat I shouldn't have been out there. Live and learn wisely. Be careful. Lake Michigan does not care who you are, does not care what kind of boat you're in. It will chew you up and spit you out and never bat an eye at you. Be careful. Pick your days wisely. And it can churn quick out there, too. All season angler, do I offer food or drink with your charters? If you want to drink lake water, and maybe we can cook up some of your salmon, absolutely no. We do not. We tell people, bring whatever you want to eat and drink. Just don't bring glass bottles or anything glass in case anything gets broken. Chris Olson, do I flash my UV spoons? No, the only spoons I charge, and I don't flash anything, I use a UV flashlight. The only spoons that or anything really, are anything that glow. Steve Steele, you're welcome. I appreciate it. Steak and lobster all season. Yeah. Bill Gerlach, you're not kidding. Lake Superior, that's no joke up there. That lake can churn evil. Lake Erie, all Great Lakes. You got to respect every body of water while you're talking about it. Yep, Terry Lacey, some days 30 feet is too small. Yeah, TD Schlout, I won't even say that B word that you're talking about. We were having a great day one day out on a trip, and my first mate started talking about that fruit that starts with a B, and all of a sudden the fishing just shut right down for like 45 minutes, and I was looking at him like I wanted to throw him over the boat. And at the end of the day, he told me, he said, after I said that and the fishing turned off, he said, I was starting to get a little worried. So, yeah, we do not have any of those fruits that start with a B on the boat. I don't even like saying the word. How's that for superstition? Johnny Quest, I will tell Bud that you said hello. What brand the UV light, Jeff Russell? You can find them on Amazon, anywhere. There's a million of them out there, pretty cheap too, 15, 20 bucks. Look for the ones with a big round, it has a good cluster of small UV bulbs in there. You'll do absolutely fine. Yeah, there you go, Joe. Joe Stepro, you nailed it. Oh, Jeff, I didn't see it at the end of your post there. Yours is on the bottom of the lake in Frankfurt. I'm sorry to hear that, man. There's a lot of things out there on the bottom of that lake. I think I think there's got to be $1 million in coins out there because we still do this sometimes. I know a lot of boats do. They would take a coin and throw them at rods, and it was supposed to be if you hit the rod, it was good luck. And there was days we probably threw $4 or $5 of coins, at rods out there. And I know we're not the only boat doing that. So there's got to be tons of money and other things out there. Imagine all the phones out there, all the downrigger balls, all that stuff. Tim Grunvelt, fish on a long line. What's the best method to reel the planer board in? Just keep steady pressure on it. If it's on the outside, you can reel your other boards in a little closer to help that get around it. But the best thing is to just keep working on it. Have your whoever's on the rod go as far to the one side of the boat as they can away from the board, and just keep pulling on it. Just keep steady pressure. And like I said, you got to bring your other boards in to help. You can do that as well. Al Schroeder, you've been doing that since the mid-'70s. I know. Yeah, I didn't come up with it. I know it's from a long time ago. You imagine how much money is out there? Yeah, there's stuff on the bottom of that lake I can only imagine. Anybody see that lake, I think it's Lake Mead outside Las Vegas, has been drying up, and they're finding things on the bottom of that lake. They're pretty unique, finding some barrels out there with some pretty unique things in there from back in the mob days. That's all I'm going to say on that. But I saw something on YouTube. The water levels on that lake have come down dozens of feet, and they're finding boats out there, and like I said, barrels with some things in there, a whole bunch of stuff. If that's something you're interested in, do a little search on YouTube. You'll find it. It's pretty cool. Beehive fishing, hand line advice. You're talking about divers, hand lining in divers. So that is the technique we use on our boat. You can actually see it on last week's video. The best advice I can give you is keep that line as low to the water as you can. And the reason being is your boat's what? Your boat is 3 or 4 feet above the water. You're another 6 feet tall or however tall you are. The rod is another 7 feet above you. That's a lot of lift trying to get that fish out of the water. You think about it, fish can only swim up so far, and the laws of physics dictates when it gets to the top of the water, it's not going to come out anymore. And by you trying to lift that, that's a lot of force that you're putting on that fish. So and this goes with rods and reels too. Turn your line sideways when you get that fish close to the back of the boat. Try to keep your rod tips down. But hand lining that in, try to get as low as you can and just really take a nice steady pull. You don't want to be jerking on it real hard. Nice steady pull. If the fish wants to go, you just let it slide out your hands real slowly. Make sure the person on the rod stays ready if you got to let it go. But nice steady pull. And what I'll do is I'll get it to the last 6-7 feet. I'll take one last long reach down the line. I'll say to my first mate, you ready? Yep. And I'll just take about one step back and it pulls it right into the net almost every time. Almost every time. Terry Bradshaw, Jimmy Hoffa? Yeah, maybe. Who knows, huh? Can you release the ninja boards out of the group? No, you cannot. They're not set up to do that way, Richard. What size downrigger balls do I use, Brian H? My corners are 14 pounds. My center is 16 pounds. Just started using cheaters on a downrigger line, using 2 clips and a piece of fluoro. How long do you make the fluoro? It's 6 feet. That's state law here in Michigan. You can't go more than 6 feet on those sliders. Beehive fishing, yeah, you're welcome. No problem. Like I said, watch the video that I just posted out last week. You'll see me. I actually lose a fish on that video, hand lining it in, and that's the first one I've lost hand lining it is a long, long time. It's a really good technique. You can really control the fish. Rick F., you're going to bring me some Erie walleye when you come up in August? I appreciate that. Thank you very much. All right, where are we at? 232 people, 42 minutes in. Let's get out of here. Donald Wiley from Scotland. Good to see you there, my friend. How is the weather in beautiful Scotland? It's got to be dark there now. If I'm thinking correctly, you were probably close to 11 p.m. at night. Maybe 12 p.m.? What are you doing up so late? All right. Jeff Russell, you're welcome. No problem. Have a good evening. You also, Chris Olson. Let's get out of here. Like I said, when this posts, I'll retouch on this. There's a Convector 45D and an Akuma CLR 8'6" rod to be given away. Leave a comment on this video after it posts to YouTube. Just leave a comment, something fishing related, where you fish maybe, what's your favorite fish, maybe what your boat is. Something along those lines. I will pick a random comment before next Sunday's show, and we will pick a winner. All right, cool. Let's do that. Russell Gillen, I run my flies backwards. That's a good question. Something we've covered many, many times, but it's still a really, really good question. All right. Let's go. Let's get out of here. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. Still 220 people here. That's a great number. Let's see if we can get it up even more next week. That'd be cool, too. Be safe. I will see you 7 days from now. Take care.